Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile, Scala with the Pop XP, and joining me as always, my good friend, my compadre, my partner, my bestest friend in the world, Billy Tucci.
I love you, man.
What's up?
Love you, man.
I love you, man.
So I gotta I have an addiction, Scala. I gotta tell you.
Oh, of many. So which one's this
I'm
one?
addicted to salt.
Salt? How many bags of chips?
Just now, like in the past, I don't know, 20 minutes.
What?
Did so well today. I went out and I bought a spinach wrap. I did buy some supersada though. I bought some turkey and I bought some romaine lettuce and bell peppers and what's the long onions? What are they called? The long ones.
Oh, the green onions?
Yeah.
Chives? Whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever. Green onion.
Ragaboom!
Ragaboom's in the house. What's going on, Dan?
He's got
Do you see the shit he's posting? Dude, freaking pages. Oh my god! I was like, keep posting. I'm feeling inspired.
Oh, I don't want him to ink him. I know that he loves
his chozo. I know.
So good. You don't need ink this. Just go straight scallions.
Andrew, welcome. Awesome.
Straight to pencils. But
I know, right?
Yeah.
So you're eating healthy wraps, yet you're buying family-sized chips, and you're hitting from behind or the bottom. It's kind of weird. You don't open from the top. I'm so addicted. Ravenous.
I just rip it and it's
so ravenous.
I shove it all in my face. Yeah, pretty much. Fanatic. Sucks.
Awesome. I mean, we got a good night, man. We got a fun show. It's not our typical crowdfunding comics episode.
No, well, this is a very selfish version.
Yeah. This is informative. This is information. Many of you out there may be familiar with our guest tonight and with the website on Twitter. I see the logo. I see the name pop up in the chat all the time on our show and other shows. It's been a great fan, a great supporter of us. And without further ado, Billy, let's get this party started. Let's bring in Mr. RJ Carter, Mr. Critical Blast.
Hey,
what's going on?
Wow.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, well, I appreciate you coming on. And, like I was saying, I mean, this is a little different than what we normally do on a crowdfunding comics episode on a Wednesday. We're not talking campaigns in the sense of something going on, but we are talking about a service that I have to say in 3 years of doing this show, over, 350 of our episodes are primarily crowdfunding, right? Crowdfunding based. The biggest thing that's always come up is like shipping kills us. Or international shipping kills us, or I get complaints from international backers that it's too expensive.
Yep.
And you reached out to us a while ago, and we finally been able to get you on because you may have cracked the code, RJ.
Well, we're doing our best. I mean, Critical Blast has been around for 6 years now. And largely we've just been we start out doing reviews. We're fans. We know how to treat comics, and we have our fan awards. Are you sitting in front of a green screen, Nile?
Of course.
Okay, so you can't reach back to that hardcover tap dance killer that's behind your left shoulder.
What? That of course. Oh, the props are real.
The props are real.
The props.
Yeah, that's the hardcover, isn't it? What's that say on the back there?
What does it say
about that award?
What does it say, Nile?
There's no award here.
There's no printing on the back there.
Wait, this little thing? Best series of the year, Critical Blast?
What?
What? Right there?
Yeah,
nice.
They were nominated book, writer, and artist, and our readers did the voting, and they swept all 3 categories. So they got 3 trophies for that book.
Wow.
So it's good to see people reading it and realizing how good it is.
Ted, he does some good stuff. He sent me a whole package. I've got all the everything that's in publication right now. Hence this aluminum frame here from my overhead camera stand, because I've actually just wrapping up the final portion of his big video from his unboxing that I've been working on for the past couple weeks on and off.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we do the reviews, and that led into the YouTube channel where we start talking to all you creators. And one of the things that I found I have a talent for is spending other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, every time I got a creator, I was like, hey, that picture there would make a great sticker, or that's a wireframe. Why don't you have a 3D print done of that? And inevitably they would, you know, like consider it for their next campaign, and I'd see it done. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm making nothing off of all of this. But then, like you, I would hear, especially when I would talk to people in the UK and people in Australia, the shipping kills us.
Yeah.
So aside from being a fan, I'm a database analyst, 30 years experience, contracted with different companies, many of them logistics companies. And, you know, the answer when I would see them was like, well, why don't you? And I tell the stories like this little, you've seen the cartoons where the little angel and the little devil pop up on your shoulder and give you different ideas. It's like the devil popped up on my shoulder and said, shut up. Don't give this one away. You can actually do this one. You can't draw worth a lick, but you can lick stamps. And I put together the business plan. I talked with some people who were in the business, say, am I missing anything here? And they're like, and if I was, they said, yeah, you forgot about this, and I'd add that in. But when it was all said and done, I had a business plan where I could get folks in the UK and in Australia and anywhere else in the world, really, to be able to start their campaigns up and have a shipping cost that didn't scare the bejesus out of people. It didn't drive customers away, because that was why they weren't selling comics as much as they could, because you'd see this great looking comic book, and then you'd see this outrageous shipping cost that they can't help. And now we're solving that problem. If you've seen The Company Men, which is coming out of Australia, he sold over 200, I think 250 copies of that. I might be remembering wrong, but it's in that neighborhood, because his shipping cost is $10, and his shipping cost is $10 from Australia because he's using our service to do it with.
Mm-hmm. So how does this service benefit crowdfunders outside of the U.S. or in the U.S. shipping abroad as well?
We're trying to go both directions. It's a lot easier coming in. It's an easier nut to crack. Going out, the biggest hurdle in either direction is the guess. You have to guess how many books are going, because it's all based on bulk shipping and drop shipping. So, you know, you have to assume that I'm going to sell 100 books, and then base your shipping costs off of that. We figure out what it's going to cost to send by weight your campaign before you even launch your campaign. Do the math, find out what it's going to cost to ship from there. And
why do you have to wait before you launch a campaign, though?
Well, you want to do it before you launch a campaign, because that's when you put your shipping cost into the campaign.
What if you have them pay for shipping after the fact, though? Could it be factored after?
That makes sense, yeah.
It could be factored after, but, you know, you've already charged them X dollars for shipping. So if you didn't calculate it ahead of time, you might have undercharged, or you might have grossly overcharged, which has its own set of consequences, you know, because if people get their book and it costs a whole lot less to get to them than what they paid, they're going to start, you know, making noise about that as well, right? And nobody wants that.
I thought you could charge for shipping after the campaign, though. Can't that be in the survey?
I have seen backer kits do that, yes.
Yeah. Because I wonder if they do if it's paired with a backer kit, if they get their total in, then you can get the price on the shipping and hopefully get it cheap, and then charge it after the fact.
That we can do.
But
that might be something to look at for from the U.S. outside. Obviously, it seems like you guys figured it out for out of the U.S. in.
Yeah, everything coming in. I mean, I've got, I've done estimates for going out. For instance, I can, on paper, I can ship out a 1 pound book, which is like an 80-page graphic novel. I can ship that to the UK for $14.70 per unit.
Now, but what about customs and all that?
Well, customs is, if I'm sending books, guess what? Books fall under, what is the, I forget the customs. It's 9,001 or something like that, 1,400, 9,000. It's wood pulp. Graphic novels fall under wood pulp, and they don't get checked until you cross an $800 barrier. And second of all, once they do get checked, they're exempt. So customs is not really a problem because comic books and graphic novels are exempt from a customs fee. Now, the value added tax, that's a whole new ball game, because, that's where you have to calculate that correctly. And we have our VAT calculation spreadsheet here based on the country, what it would be, what it would have been before, they changed it all. Before the change, there was like this nice little table said, hey, this country's, 1.2%, this one's 1.27%. It was actually 27%, but now they changed the rules. If you try to look it up, it's basically like they want you to join some Amway club as a shipper, and then they'll tell you what the costs are. Mm-hmm. And right now, folks in the UK and the rest of Europe, they're just being blindsided by these VAT charges, and they're not happy, and they're making their voices heard to their governments about this.
Yeah, well, Adam Post is in the chat with a good question here. At Critical Blast, are you shipping the Australian comics company men yourself from the USA or using another company in the US?
The books are going to come directly to me into my hot little hands from Australia in one big box. And, the way our process works is once that box arrives, I will get Kemosabe on a stream just like this, private stream, box sealed. I'm going to open it in front of him, make sure that we both agree the books are in good condition, that, they didn't get stomped on by Godzilla between here and Australia. And then we're going to count them, and I'm going to make sure that not only are they in good condition, but that I received what you said I received, so that there's no concerns about, well, what did you do to my books, or where did my books go after you got them? Mm-hmm. That's going to be covered there. Then we take care of all the breakdowns. We take care of the packaging. We take care of the labeling. You don't send us any shipping money until after we've got all the books kitted together. Now, what I mean by kitting is that kitting is we have. Back up a little bit here. I said I was a database guy, right? We take your spreadsheets. You send us the spreadsheets from Indiegogo and Kickstarter if you did that, and whatever other methods you took of collecting money. We run this through a database that I've written, some SQL code that takes all your items and puts them on one horizontal row. If you've gotten a CSV from Indiegogo before, you know what it looks like. It's name and address and item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. Next row, next person. Now that they've done the add-ons, well, guess what? It's another row for the same person with one item. And it makes them harder to put together. What we do is we put them all in, we run through a process that gets one name and address, all the items out, and then we sort them and collate them so that you get everybody who's getting the same thing gets printed in one batch. And you can just sit there and just mindlessly kit these things together. And then we weigh one, we say, okay, that weighs this much. All of these are going to cost this price. We do the next one. We know this works because we've run the packing lists like this for a book called Florida Man. We sent these off.
Aaron, yeah.
So their packaging, we didn't package their books, but we did run their packing slips as a test run of our software. So that
now,
works.
Yeah, so could somebody, because we have stretch goals, all that stuff, could we pack all that into one big giant box and ship it to you? And with a shipping sheet or with a shipping sheet on top of it, because you guys make the labels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're a fulfillment center. You're a fulfillment center, is what you're doing.
We are a fulfillment center.
Yeah, so you're taking a bulk shipment from the creator overseas, and then what you're doing is kind of like what a lot of people ask, well, why can't you just get your books printed in Europe and this and that? So what you're doing is you're saying, all right, get your stuff together, send it to us over here. You're going to pay that one bulk shipment to us, and then we're going to mail this out locally so that the shipping rates are substantially cheaper than what you would be paying overseas. And then in the long run, they're still paying for that bulk shipment, but their shipping's less that they're paying for because you're shipping out of the U.S. So essentially, they're saving money because they're not just shipping from Australia to the U.S., which is probably like $40.
It's a two-part process. It's ship the books over here. Know that you're going to be shipping like 100 books. Find out what that cost is. Divide it by the book number. This is all in the estimate. So like, if it's going to cost so much to send so many pounds, 100 books weigh so much. Divide it by 100, say that's my first part. RJ, here's my books. What am I going to do? I'm saying, here's what it costs once I get it. You add those two together, there's your ship cost.
So this is very beneficial for creators outside of the US. So, and that's where I think the difference falls then for creators in the US is the fact that you're not overseas. There's no counterpart that's taking that. You'd almost have to get like a network going of, okay, you're part of the Critical Blast team and you're in England and you're in Australia and you're in Russia, or however you want to get.
Absolutely. We're working on that. We have somebody in Australia already ready to go and start receiving bulk shipments from us for things going to Australia. The real problem there is that if you don't have a certain minimum amount of books going, it's not cost effective. Now, one of the things that we're expanding, another aspect of this is we're saying, you know what, if it takes 70 books to get you that cost and you sold 30, ship 70 books. Because for one thing, you're going to have damages. It's, you have to plan for that. If you do, they're already there in country. So you come back to our agent and on site. He lets us know. We say, here's the money for another label, print it out there, and it goes back out. Second of all, and this is what we're doing for all the books coming into us as well, we tell all of our clients to overship by a certain percentage, not just because of the returns for damages and such, but also because, guess what? We have contacts for over 2,500 comic shops in the United States, and we're going to make that overrun inventory available to these shops at a different price. And we're going to say, hey, look, this is what we've got. These were crowdfunded books. They're overseas, or, maybe they were even domestic. You can't get these anywhere else. So how many do you want? And by the way, you're going to get them all in one box, not shipped each individually. So you could get 2 of the Company Men, 3 of the Embrace, 2 Life Encoras, and we're going to upcharge the book because I got to eat. So they'll go out to comic shops. Your books will be on the shelf of a local comic shop. And who doesn't want that? Even if you're crowdfunding and saying, that, the comics industry is dead, you'd still love to see your book between Spider-Man and Superman on a shelf somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is great. Like Adam actually just, his comment just popped up here in the thing. This would be great for the UK. UK domestic is very cheap. International is very expensive. We have a lot of UK creator friends, that are crowdfunding that, are in the process of fulfillment. They're in demand. I think this is a great service for them. So for anyone out there that's watching this live or recorded that is overseas, just go through the process really quick, okay? Say I live in London, okay, and my book, is done and whatnot, and now I'm working with you in the process of, all right, I'm going to be crowdfunding this book. This is this is what we're anticipating, based on our marketing and everything. When it comes to like all the packing, the shipping, materials and stuff, are they literally just sending you books, like basically the print right off the printing press sent to you with all the stretch goals? So you're handling all of the shipping materials and packages as well?
Yes. I mean, if you want to put it all together yourself, and we have people who are doing that, they're like, hey, I want to put this print and this book together. They're different sizes. I feel more comfortable boxing up. More power to you. You are absolutely welcome to do that. Just, mark the box so I know what's in it at some level. But yeah, at the very basic rate, it's coming from the printer in a sealed box straight to us. And we'll have like a box of prints. We'll have a box of books.
What's the cost difference that you're seeing? What's the average saving percentage?
Oh, well, that's usually told to me by the person shipping, because I haven't calculated what they're shipping without me. I just tell them what they are shipping with me. I've been told that it's 50% of other fulfillment services that people have availed themselves of. I do know that shipping a book from Australia to the United States is like $25 to $30, and again, we've gotten that down to $10 for one campaign. The thing I caution people about is know what your campaign is before you launch it, because I see a lot of campaigns kick off and then they get these great ideas because they get interviewed by people like me who give them to them. And they start expanding their campaign. And I started hearing people say about, we're going to make, if we hit this low, we're going to put metal covers on them. Like, are you kidding me? You just blown your shipping all to craziness, because metal's heavy. And it could toss you into the next tier. Post office has things, 1 to 2 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. You could jump 2 tiers if you start putting metal and toys. If we worked out the deal that, hey, this tier is a media male rate because that's what you chose, and now you throw something in that's not media, that's a whole new ballgame.
Yeah. Now, when you say you get the shipping down to $10, is that $10 cost for the creator or $10 cost for the backer?
The $10 cost for the backer, because that's what we're really trying to calculate is what are you going to put in that shipping cost on your campaign. We're trying not to overcharge the backer. We're trying not to scare them away, and we're trying not to have the creator spend out of pocket. What we charge is basically, what the shipping is plus our service fee built into it.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
No, yeah, I like the idea of, but see, it's good for people who have campaigns that have done them several times, because you get an idea, you get a ballpark of what your European shipping would be, or Australian, or UK, which I don't know if you can consider European anymore. But I think this is a really cool idea. It works. It's great for working both ways for both the people in Europe or Australia to want to ship stuff here. And let's face it, I think the majority of their backers, of everyone's crowdfunding backers, are here in the United States.
Yeah.
And if you be that nice middleman to help reduce costs.
Yeah, we're the largest market for these comic books here in the States.
Yeah.
So, that's why I focused there first.
Mm-hmm.
But
Brian
Christoph, do this. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to get Brian Christoph's comment in here. As an indie comics creator, I hate having to charge customers $26 for overseas shipping. We all do. If we can get around that, it would build our backer bases in a major way.
Yep.
Absolutely. And, again, I'm trying to get around that from the U.S. to other countries. It's a bulk ship thing. And again, the way to do that is to overship, because, our agents overseas are going to do the same thing that I just said I was doing with our overships. They're going to get them marketed to the local comic shops. And oh, by the way, Critical Blast has an Amazon affiliate account, so those overstocks are also going to be listed on Amazon. So your books are still going to be selling while they're here. If a book sells and it was a $25 book and we've got it listed for $30, Amazon sells it, I'm going to send $25 to the creator. They're going to say, I didn't sell a book. I'm going to say, yes, you did. You're welcome.
So you're going to get rid of the overstock that they send you.
As
long as it's not damaged, you're going to.
I don't need more.
Yeah. So the overstock then. So you're offering then basically now is that part of your, like, do you just do that? Is that part of a package fee? Or is it just, okay, I'm going to take your overstock, I'm going to put it on our Amazon affiliate, I'm going to go to local comic shops and set it up, and it's like a, per diem, well, if this one sells, it sells, and like commission based? How does that extra
there's no fee
service?
I mean, I make the money by upcharging the cost of the book to the comic shop. Again, if it's a $25 book, it was crowdfunded for $25, I'm not going to sell it to the comic shop for $25. I'm going to sell it to them for $30. Or for $28, or I'm something modest. I'm not going
nice. Yeah.
So and then the cost of the shipping also is where we make our money, the service fee of putting it together. But there's no cost to the. In fact, throughout this whole thing, there's really no cost to the creator at all. The shipping cost is passed on to the backer. The comic shops are paying for the overstock. So as a creator, you've got no real loss on this unless you grossly underestimate the weights of your books.
Right.
And because when they come to me and I start measuring them up, I'm like, okay, you've got 100 of this particular kit put together here, and that's on the scale, and Pirate Ship is saying, here's what it's going to cost to ship this thing. If it's $1 more than what you listed for shipping times 100, you're out $100.
So they're getting their bulk shipment payment back within the shipping that you're charging in the US?
Yes, that's why when they want to run a campaign, I haven't heard anybody say this before, so I'm going to say I invented the phrase. The first word in customer is custom. We sit down with our customer, who is the campaigner, and we say, tell me what your book is. How many pages is it? How big is it? We work out the grams and the ounces and all that stuff. I said, okay, you need to tell me from your country what shipper you're going to use, and ask them how much it costs to send a 20 kilogram box, because 20 kilograms is usually like the the maximum weight.
Yeah.
And then we say, how many books fit in a 20 kilogram box? Okay, take that cost and divide by that number of books. Put that number aside. Then I say, okay, now that same book arriving here is going to go into a Gemini mailer. I wish I had the bags over here. We also print custom bags that has the logo or the cover of the book on it. We get them from Sticker Mule. And that's an extra add-on, like $1.60 add-on for each one. But basically, we're going to package it all up. And this is what it would cost you. And I tell them that on that stream. Say, okay, take that cost we put aside, the cost I just gave you, put them together. That is the bare bones cost. If your package is 15 ounces, say it's more than a pound and go to the next level, because you don't know if you're going to throw a trading card in there or the wind is going to blow the wrong direction while they weigh it. If you're real close to a tier, a next tier, assume that it's going to be in the next tier. And then at that point, if it's like we say if it's like $8.58 or $9.12, say round it to $10. Give yourself that cushion. So no one's going to care if you made 57 cents on the shipping charges. It's when you make $15 on the shipping charges. You charge $20 and you send it out in a brown paper bag that people really get upset.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. That's an awesome service for creators outside of the US. That's awesome. You got to get it now. We got to get the systems perfected for the creators in the US, and I think you'll see a huge spike there.
Yeah, and again, it's just
your agents. You got to get agents in other countries to be able to do what you're doing. You got to get that
an agent in
business
Australia,
model over.
An agent in the UK.
Perfect.
And I've got an agent in Canada.
Well, let me ask a question. Does anyone know? I feel like I've had this conversation with someone, but I don't even remember. If you have an agent in the UK and they're shipping throughout Europe, is it still crazy shipping rates?
Yeah,
really.
I've got to get UK to the rest of Europe. UK is, like you said, it's its own thing now.
Yeah.
So I need to get somebody who's in Europe but not in the UK.
Like someone in Germany or someone that's in the large land mass.
So if anybody wants to,
who do we know?
And by the way, that person gets paid.
Yeah.
And their payment gets built into the shipping costs. So, like, I'm just going to go across here with my UK thing and my agent fee. We calculated that 70 books can fit in a 70-pound package, already boxed up. My initial model with the UK was go to Royal Post, print out labels for everything, slap them on there, quickly put them in one big box, and haul ass, and put it, Max Global Express guaranteed to the UK agent. That's $517 right there to ship 70 books, because when you print the label from Royal Mail, it starts dying slowly, and after 5 days, that label's no good. So if it's not in their system, it's a voided label, and you're out the money. Nobody wants that. Their label is £3 60 shillings, or basically $2.60 for a 1 pound book here. The 517 divided by 70, that's $7.39 per unit. You add on the 260, the packaging's $1. The agent handling fee, we pay the agent $50 for every box. So $50 divided by 70, he gets 71 cents per unit. Our fee for doing this is $3 per unit that we put together. So all of that added up and divided out means that we shipped it for $14.70 from the United States to the UK.
Now, can that include? You say it's got to be like sort of like media mail. You couldn't have things like pins or challenge coins or stickers, right? Things like, well, maybe a sticker you could, but magnets, right? You probably couldn't have that stuff, right, included in it. It's got to be
not at media, mate. But the UK has different tiers for things. They don't really have a medium mail kind of thing. They've got a 1 pound package, 1 pound parcel. So when I did the UK thing, I just said, what's a 1 pound parcel cost to mail? And I didn't specify that it could contain any media or anything specific. It's just like, it's mail. And it weighs a pound. How much to send it? So yes, you could have pins and magnets and such like that. And even with media mail in the United States, you're allowed to have an insert. You can have they have a tier, and even most postmasters don't know about it, but they have a tier called media mail with first class insert. So you can put like an invoice or something in there that's not the media.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, there's nothing in the postal regulation at all that says you have to have an ISBN number for your media mailing. There is that regulation that says comic books do not count for media mail.
Right.
We've seen instances where postmasters have opened up the box and say, hey, it's a comic book. You have to be prepared to fight with your postmaster and show them the regulation that thing that says comic books are not eligible for media mail is in the overall clause that is talking about media mail that has paid advertisement placement in it.
Right.
Crowdfunded books don't. And whenever I see,
and especially if they're 48 to 64 page hardcover books.
Yes, exactly.
It's infuriating.
Now I've had clients talk to me and said, well, I'm gonna sell some ads. I'm like, whoa, you do that, you can't sell it, you can't send it out media mail.
Right.
You can have house ads in there, and with crowdfunding, what's a house ad? So if I'm putting out the Amazing Shipper Man comics, and I put a full page house ad in there for She, who's to say that we're not part of Crowdfunding Incorporated?
Right.
So that could be considered a house ad kind of thing. It's it's not saying buy X-ray specs or a hovercraft and send this coupon in with $5 in your name and address. That's different.
Excellent.
Awesome.
So now on your website, criticalblast.com, you have the section here. So when you go up to your homepage, you've got your COVID-19 updates. You got logistics, store, cosplay, comics, and all this stuff. You go in, and you got your logistics right here, which is the page that I'm bringing up right now. Everything that you've explained, you're explaining down in here for anyone in greater detail. Yeah.
And that probably needs to be updated because guess what? I've learned things, and rates have changed. The post office is changing rates again. In 10 days? So my sheets are already reflecting that, but I haven't probably transferred it over to the website yet. So I need to do that. And our spreadsheets are always up to date. I have a web feed in there that pulls in every currency conversion that's out there, so we can quickly and easily calculate what you're going to cost to ship from any country that has a post office and money.
Nice. Now, while I'm on your website, you've talked about shipping and everything. Let's talk a little bit about Critical Blast. I mean, you've been around for 6 years. Your site's got articles, things. I mean, tell us a bit about Critical Blast.
Well, Critical Blast grew out of some work I'd done as a reviewer for a site called The Trades. It was the-trades.com. I was writing for them for like 14 years, and I sort of became the media contact for them. They were doing movie reviews. I kind of fell into it because I knew some folks that were there, and everyone was paying for their tickets. I was like, that doesn't seem right. So I became the contact person for all of the different production companies. I was getting the movie tickets from the people that your standard media people get them from. I said, wonder if I could do that with DVDs. Yeah, you can. Books. I didn't pay for a single Harry Potter novel while I worked with them. Eventually, the guy wanted to shut it down, and he was keeping the branding. I'm like, okay, I still like what I'm doing, so I went out and formed my own, set up the website, and it was the same engine. And just told all my contacts, hey, we're over here now, and we cover everything in the entertainment industry, whether it's movies, comic books, cosplay. We have our cosplayer of the year. We vote for the best of every year, as you saw with the comics, movies, and everything else. And we have a cosplayer every month, so we have our cosplayer of the year from that selection as well. Also, what we do, and you'll see that banner there at the top, is talking about this book called The Devil You Know. We're a publishing house. We publish books. We have published a hardcover young adult superhero novel called Bulletproof. The author was just at a convention this past weekend, and it's like it's a brand new book because he published it and then COVID happened. So it's a year where nothing could happen. and now they're like discovering it as a brand new book. It's this great story of a teenager whose father did some experiments on him when he was a baby. He wakes up at 16. He's bulletproof, and he lives in a world with superheroes. So he decides to become one. Unfortunately, he's got the attention span of a ferret on pixie sticks. So he has to have his friends helping folks. Yeah, he really does have this undiagnosed sort of ADHD thing, and that's part of his endearing character. So they have to help him focus. Otherwise, the terrorists who were after his father's formula will kill him, because just because you're bulletproof doesn't mean you're immortal. He's working on the second book for that. The last book we did was an anthology of horror stories, horror, comedy, science fiction. It was a blend of genres, but they were all stories about people's encounters with the devil. And that was a lot of fun, because our very first anthology was Gods and Services, and we'd never done it before. Nobody knew who we were. I got like 30 submissions for it, and I was paying $20 a story, so it was like, low-level stuff. I narrowed the 30 submissions down to 10. So when I did The Devil, I'm like, what? I'm going to give myself an extra 2 months of reading window, because I want people to get in. We had 180 submissions for this thing, because people saw, they've published a book and they paid. It's just like, you're crowdfunding comics. Oh, he's crowdfunded one before and he fulfilled. You get better success. So we had a lot of success with The Devil We're going to do The Devil Better real soon and open it up as a second part anthology. So if you're a horror writer out there and you got it in you for a story about meeting the devil and whatever comes of it, hit us up. Let us know. We want to know. We've got some name writers that we've been talking to who will add their gravitas to the book. So you'll be side by side with people who are known in the industry. You can scroll across the top of the website though and find a category and find all kinds of reviews of material in there. If you're into comics, we have a comic section. We have an animation section.
Movies, television.
What a great website.
Podcast. Now, do you write all these articles?
I write a lot of those articles. We have staff that comes in and out. So it's all volunteer staff. But they get paid by product. So if you want to see movies for free, they get the movie ticket and they said, I got to see it for free. I just have to write the review. We have a guy in St. Louis who sees all the movies. He goes to the Fox Live Theater, the Broadway productions that come to town. We have done interviews with, so many people over the years that are all in there. Some of the people who are like my bucket list of meets that I'm so glad I got to talk to. I interviewed people like Alan Parsons because his music was so influential on me in college. I've interviewed Thurl Ravenscroft, who you would love Thurl Ravenscroft, Billy.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
Okay, so you're familiar with the voice, because for years he told you Frosted Flakes, they're great.
Okay. Okay.
He was a voice actor and a singer, and as I'm going through the interview with him, he sang backup for Elvis Presley.
Oh wow!
And he was in the Army Air Corps, before it was the U.S. Air Force. He flew the plane that carried Winston Churchill to the Yalta Conference.
Wow!
Wow!
Yeah, it's just this huge historical figure. I was interviewing him because they were doing the Grinch movie, and he was the guy who sang the song and didn't get credit for it in the cartoon.
Oh wow! Huh.
He gets credit now.
Scala, did you know this? Did you know this, Scala?
I didn't know. This is new.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, it was fun. He tells the story in the interview. If you find it on the website, he was walking the halls at because everyone was a contractor. I can't remember if it was CBS or NBC. I want to say CBS. He was just walking down the hall, and Chuck Jones and Ted Geisel stepped out and said, "Thurl, can you come in here for a second?" And they threw the music in front of me, and they said, "Boris can't sing." So he was in there for 5 minutes, sang the song, walked off on his merry way, and a legend was born. He had no idea that it was going to have that kind of a sticking power.
That's incredible. Those stories are so cool to hear. I feel like you don't hear the stories like that anymore.
No.
Yeah. Lou Scheimer told me a bunch of stories like that, and I won't repeat any of them now because I could be here all night talking about Lou, the guy who did Filmation cartoon rather.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, that's cool that you brought this, the critical blast logistics to us. I hope the viewers, really got a chance to understand the service that you're providing, especially for those overseas that are bringing stuff in. And I hope you get it. Get your agents lined up. How will you update the website so if a creator is interested in your services, they could see maybe a map of which countries their books can ship to for great costs?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you right now, it's all of them. If I don't have an agent there, I will get somebody there. We'll make it happen. Again, the only problem is bulk. If you've only got one book, it's cheaper for you to send it yourself than to send it to me to send for you.
Yeah.
And I will add that we do have one other service that we didn't talk about, and that is we will host your campaign for you if you can't host it. I know there's a bunch of people in South America who, for one reason or another, they have to have somebody in the United States host their Indiegogo or their Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Why
is that?
They can't
Why
do
is
that.
that?
Well, I have to say this because they're looking out for money laundering, and South America. Who would be money laundering in South America? The crowdfunded comic cartel.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know there are a couple of buddies of mine. I won't, I don't know if they want their names said because you probably all know them as well. But they have launched some campaigns for other creators that specifically were in South America because they can't. So what happens is they host their book through their publishing name, and then they just they handle through what services for them, and then they just basically wire their money. Yeah.
And we have another service that's not really advertised yet because we're just launching it, but it's very, very much needed in the crowdfunding community, and that's called proofreading and editing. I am a published author. I'm the writer on the Remo Williams The Destroyer series. I've been editing articles and submissions for over 20 plus years, so I am available to edit your comic books. Please make sure that you have an editor, not yourself. To proof your stuff before it goes to the print shop. It's easier to fix it in digital than it is post-production.
Fantastic, man. So are those other services listed on your website?
No, they're not. They're all fairly recent developments as people have come to me with needs and things that have grown out for it. So
okay. Now, what's the best way? The viewers out there, the creators out there that are looking for services that you're providing. What's the best way for them to reach you?
Probably the best and fastest way is through Twitter. We are Critical Blast on Twitter. Just send us a DM. We will set up a StreamYard with you, a private StreamYard that's not broadcast, and talk and meet. Make sure that we understand your business and give you the best deal that we can give you.
Awesome. Very cool, man. I like what you've got going on. I've liked what you've presented to us. I think it's very informative. I think there's services that are definitely needed in the crowdfunding arena, and good thing you're getting your feet into it because as I'm seeing, as Billy sees, you see too. I mean, bigger names are coming onto the scene. There's other outlets now. We're seeing articles of creators leaving big name publishers to go to this site and to that site.
It's an
indie. Yeah,
they're fleeing sinking fleeing a sinking ship.
I think I think one of the futures of comic books is really self-publishing. I think all the next big round of the great books are going to come just direct from the creators. I don't think you're going to see DC, Marvel, and stuff really tied to things as much anymore.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, I haven't bought a mainstream comic in months now, at least, and I haven't missed it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And there's so many great creators doing,
so many.
And you got to applaud them for doing their things and getting these great deals. I mean, you look what Scott Snyder recently did with his crew, all those guys with the deal with Comixology and then Dark Horse, and
you just get new stuff in the mail all the time. That's something cool to read today.
And what's cool too, though, is you get to see the evolution of some creators. Some books out there, I've supported the first book because it's their first book. Is the book a little rough? Yeah, but you see the potential in it and you just want to help support them. But then you see the second campaign and the third campaign and their networking is increasing. They're learning. It's a skill, right? It's like being a carpenter or a plumber. Drawing's a skill. I mean, the more you do it, the better you get. Even if you're horrible at it, the more you do it, the better you'll get. It may not be, the best in the business, but you will always get better the more you do something.
Absolutely.
And that's what's cool seeing with crowdfunding too, is you get to see the next campaign, like, oh wow, they really stepped up their game, and if they're a writer, it's like, oh wow, this is even better, this is a deeper storyline, a better arc, or if they're an artist and doing everything, it's like, oh wow, man, look at their perspective is really just shown through. Although this looks great, these panel, sequential art looks great, their panel works awesome, they're getting more of a director's eye, so it is cool. There's just something really neat about crowdfunding and indie, especially in this day and age, because you can watch it, right? Yes. When Billy and the guys were doing it back in, the 90s, early 90s and stuff, you couldn't watch it, because there wasn't ways to communicate like this. You can't just randomly go on a night and just watch your creator do a stream where they may be physically working on the book, talking about a process, hanging out. It's so immersive now that the backers are part of the team. They're partners, right? I mean, it's just such an intimate community of creators and fans that, I mean, it's a million times better than just, buying a mainstream comic book, right? Because you're not going to get to hang out with those guys. You're not going to get to know them. You're not going to be able to interact with them on a stream. It's just a different level. And it's evolving, and these services need to come out because as it evolves, it needs to become more cost effective. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to revolutionize the processes. They're going to come out with agents, partners. Other companies are going to form. They're going to make the processes easier for the creators to make the world even smaller to reach more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, the small interactions that we sometimes do have with the people in the mainstream, why would we want to hang out with them?
Yeah, that's true.
They're miserable. They should come crowdfund and get happy.
There you go.
I think a lot of them are. Well, you can't blame them. The big two will break your heart. Comics in general will break your heart. The big two really will break your heart, though.
Yeah.
And especially that these creators go in there, and when they're writing these stories and they're drawing, they're literally pouring their hearts out onto the page for these companies, for these characters that they don't own.
They don't own them, no.
They don't own them, and they're never going to own them. And every one of us who have, you learn pretty quick that you don't own these characters.
Well, when they're making the movies and stuff, right? These articles, you're like, oh my God, they're sending $5,000. Well, it's not their. Unfortunately, it's not their IP. They didn't create it. They didn't do it. They contributed to it. They may have were getting top dollar while working on the IP, but really at that point, you worked on, I built this house for you, right? I'm the contractor. You paid me great money. I built your house, but I'm not going to get anything from you after that. It's your house now. Like, I'm not going to get, there's no royalties. There's no nothing. I mean, if, you hire me for some more work, that's great. I'll take it. But, at the end of the day, you don't own it. It's not yours anymore. You just help build something.
The house later, you don't get a cut of it.
Correct. Yeah. If the house sells again, you're not going to get a cut of it. If someone does an amazing renovation, you're not going to get a cut of it. It's just, you're done. That was your time on it, and that's it. And everyone's like, oh, it's unfair for these creators, this and that. Well, yeah, it sucks, but you laid in that bed, that you got to work on the IP. Your name is in history as being a, writer of the Hulk or the writer of whatever, the Avengers, but they're not yours. Yeah, why are people getting mad? They're not yours. They're not obligated to give you anything unless you had a really great contract and an awesome attorney that set you up to get certain royalties for X amount of time. If they ever adapt anything you worked on for film or television or other series, that's one thing. But
I can see if they adapted the story to a film. Then you might be able to say, hey, you're adapting my complete story here for this film.
But you don't own it. It's not your story. You don't own it.
Not your story.
It's not your story. It's not yours. You wrote it, but it's not yours. That's the thing. Exactly. So, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation for another episode. Whole nother thing. But hey, man, RJ, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Love to have you on to just, talk other stuff. Comics,
yeah, you're a great guest.
Just do one of our hangout streams, crack a beer, whatever you do. If you don't drink, that's fine. Yeah. Have a ginger ale,
karaoke,
hang out, Okay. Yeah, karaoke, whatever. This might be a Scrabble night. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing that. Keep us up to date on the shipping information, because I would like to keep the creators and the backers, really up to date with what you have going on. So anytime you post something new, please tag us in it. and what have you. And we'll continue to spread that, because ultimately what you're doing is going to make it easier, and it's going to make it better for the creators out there. It's going to make it better for the backers out there, because if costs go down, more people are going to, because a lot of overseas creators too, I know for US creators, excuse me, they're digital, they're buying the digitals, right? And the digitals are like $10, this and that. But if someone wants something more, sometimes they're not really interested in paying $25, $35, $40 for international shipping.
And I'll end with this. I did this for the international shippings. One of our clients is the Embrace. He's domestic. I'm like, I'm not saving you any money. He's like, I know, I don't want to do it.
It's a lot of work. A lot of people don't. It's not for everyone to do fulfillment.
Yeah.
And this time you could be doing the next book.
Exactly.
Yep. And if it's worth it, and even Debbie and I talk about that a lot, all the time. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should get someone to fulfill for us, and then I can concentrate on this, and you can have a life.
Here I am.
So, well, we'll talk to you about it. I'll get your number off.
Well, DM him on Twitter, and then you can exchange info that way.
There you go. I'll DM you on Twitter.
Perfect.
Or is that the PM? No,
it's the DM, bro.
The PM was Facebook. Remember that? People like Boomer.
Yeah.
Or the IM. Yeah.
Remember that? I hear the door open. And it's your crush from high school. You get excited. And then once you're about to say hi, the door goes, meow, and it closes. And you're like, shit.
Oh, there goes
that opportunity.
There goes your crush.
Angela. But anyways, everyone thank RJ for coming on. Great information. You can follow him at Critical Blast on Twitter. Head over to the website, www.criticalblast.com. There's some great information there. And reach out if you have any questions about international shipping, fulfillment, hosting. They're here for your services. They're evolving services. And, it sounds top notch. RJ, his team, the Critical Blast name, is a great name, has a great reputation. So, and they're no strangers. 6 years in the game. So it's a pleasure having you on. We will definitely have you on again to hang out with us. And everyone, I hope to see you tomorrow night on all new Week in Pop. We'll be talking Suicide Squad, because that was spoiler alert, was pretty good. And many other things. So keep an eye out for the promo.
Scala. Pretty good.
It was pretty good. I'll just say it was pretty good.
I'm writing all day tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to chime in on that. I'll be writing. I'm not going to watch TV tomorrow.
Oh, geez. Oh, man. And we'll have Matthew Hawkins on, who runs Top Cow Comics. We'll be talking with him, so that'll be fun. He'll be on at 10 p.m. Show starts at 9:30 p.m. I've been a little busy this week, so my promo for that one isn't done. I'm going to get it done after the show, and I'll start posting it all on Twitter. You'll see all the images. You'll see all the fun books, shows. We watched What If. We're going to talk about that. Spoiler right there. Animation next level. Freaking awesome. But
it looks really cool.
It's incredible animation, Billy. And as a World War II aficionado, my friend,
I know
you will love the first episode if you have not watched.
I know. I want to see that with Agent Carter. I kind of heard all about it, and I've read things.
Damn, man, it's insane. And thanks for posting up, everyone in chat. Aaron Lepresti, how you doing? John F76, SDA Fizchozo, Biff Bam Boom, Brian Christa Nefarious. Where's the TJ James tonight? Adam Fraga, Old Dirty Fatty. I love that name. Thank you all for joining the chat tonight. And we'll see you all tomorrow. And then we'll see you all next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, in years to come. And RJ, you have a podcast, don't you?
We do have a podcast. You can find our podcast on YouTube/Critical Blast, or on Twitter/Critical Blast, or on Facebook/Critical Blast. We kind of got this thing going here.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
We did that too. It's a weird thing. It's like at the Pop XP here, and then at the Pop XP here, and / the Pop XP here. It's crazy how they let us do these silly things. But make sure to head over to Critical Blast on YouTube and give a subscribe. All right, Mr. Tucci, RJ.
Good to see you guys. RJ,
you're a blast.
Great guest, buddy. Looking forward to having you on again.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. We will see you all tomorrow on the Week in Pop. Billy, you joining us? You going to hang out with Matt Hawkins?
Yes, I'm joining. Yeah, well, we have the professionals, so I'm figuring I'll probably be there around 10.
That sounds like a good time. All right, everyone.
Professionals on Graham Nolan's show tomorrow.
Is it Graham?
It's about, it's a good one. It's about changing comic characters, the evolution or de-evolution of a comic book character.
Lovely.
And if that's a good thing or not. And I'm sure you know when you see all this stuff, how they decide to change these characters and all. And
crazy.
Really deep.
There exactly. We go. All right, everyone. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a
Good night.
Thanks,
Night.
RJ.
Hey everyone. Thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.